Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name is Tom Novak, and today is August 1st of 2025. Yes, the seasons are moving on. Pretty soon fall. It's Friday. It's 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius, and the time is 5 p.m. in the late afternoon. Today I'm going to show you how to do a natural bend, because you learn when you watch different videos. So when I was watching Nigel Saunders with his friend and how he bent willows, I'm going to show you how they bent it. And it's Mr. Willow and the Maple twins. And these two twins grew from seed inside the maple and sitting in water. Oh, say about, if this is the pot, sitting in water at least that much. And so far everything's good. So we're going to use a 50-50 mix of number 2 cherry red chicken grit and cocoa core. So, and Mr. Elephant says hello to everybody, and hello to all the kitties out there. So let's get cooking here. Now, and yes, there's arthritis in the left shoulder now, so I can move my arm this high, but that doesn't stop me. I don't care how much pain you're in. Sometimes you just got to do the work and keep moving, but after this, I'm going to sit back and relax and rest. So, let's get the rock out. I don't know what happened to the gnome. I had a gnome in there. The gnome fell someplace. Oh, there he is. We had him inside there. And this sat all winter long in the water. Nothing else. No covering, no nothing. And it survived. So the first thing we're going to do is, so I can get a good cut on the roots, I got my ironwood sharpener. It's a diamond. And we're just going to get our scissors a little bit of a sharpening. You know, nothing cuts wood like ironwood. Nothing sharpens tools like ironwood. So, first thing we're going to do is pull this grass out, but we can probably get that when we get the trees out. So the first thing you're going to do is see all the roots that go into the water there. You got to get that all out. I only got a piece of wood there, that's why I can't cut it. There we go. And I just use these cheap scissors for cutting the roots, because if I cut into wood or stones, I can always resharpen it, and that's not going to ruin my good shears and stuff. So all I'm doing is cutting all the roots off. And you can see, get this out of here, you can see the roots we got. A lot of roots. Okay, so let's put this down. And we're not going to do no pruning yet. First, we got to get everything apart. Let's take this out. Move the arm. Keep it moving a little bit. Put that there. Now, can we get this out? That's the $64,000 question. Any of you youngsters out there might remember that show. Back then, $64,000 was a lot of money. It was like winning $1 million today. See, with this, it pulls it out just perfect. Just like that. You can see the roots in there. So, we got that out. And all we'll do is put some chicken grit on the bottom to cover the hole so the soil don't run out. But before we do anything of that nature, let's see what we can get out of here. First, we'll try Matt's root work on these heavy roots. Let me get one of the twins out. I don't know where the roots are at, but we're working on it. This is one of the twins, and here's the other maple. And just seeds fell in here, and they grew. So, we got a nice conglomeration of roots there. And this is late in the season, so I'm not going to do much with it, because I want the roots to still grow so it overwinters nice and feeds the trees. And we'll see if they survive the winter just like this willow does. So let's get this all out. Can I get this maple away from the willow? I don't know. This is kind of hard to do, and that's from Bobcat Bonsai's root rake, does wonders. So that's good. But now since they're so fixed in there, I'm gonna have to put my steak fork in there to try to wheel it out. Can we? It's a tough one. And see, this was just a perlite mix. But with the chicken grit, I think it's going to help get this solid in the pot from the wind and the rain and everything else. You're saying, Tom, it's a little late in the year. I know, but willows are strong, hardy, and they grow. And with this sitting in water, there's no doubt about it, like Bing Crosby would say for Minute Maid orange juice. There's no doubt about it. They should grow. So all we're doing is pulling all this out. We're not going to take a whole bunch out because of the time of the year. And right here, you know, I'm going to have to turn the camera over more this way. Let me see if I can get it this way, so you can see what I'm doing. Tom, you make a better door than a window. So let's just cut some of these roots right here. And on the bottom, I keep hitting the camera with the tree there. But let's get this on the side. You can see all the roots there. So just gonna smooth them out. Smooth them out a little bit so they get in tune with the other soil. And no, I'm not going to put no Micus or Azus on there because willows are pretty resilient. Did you know that you can really make a rooting hormone out of willow branches and leaves? I know they got it on YouTube. I don't remember how, but there's a process of doing it. I know I tried it before, but I didn't do it the right way. So let's dump all this out because this is mainly roots and garbage. So, I'm gonna wipe my hands. And I'm going to have to put this maybe this way so you can see more. And that way there I can get some chicken grit out. I'm just going to cover the holes there. That's the number 2 chicken grit. You know what? That's still no good. Let's get it this way, and maybe you can see better that way. Okay, Tom. Yeah, I took one prednisone this morning, an Advil at 4 o'clock before I did picking up all the trash and stuff at the church, and pulling some weeds, and then another Advil at 1 after I ate. And we go from there. You know, you can do what you can do, and that's about it. So, here's our 50-50 mix of chicken grit and cocoa core. Yeah, I gotta clean all this mess up because it's terrible. Okay, let's put this here. You know, sometimes I gotta really stretch that arm out so it doesn't get too stiff. So I'm going to put this all here. And we'll put the willow. Will it fit? I don't know. Might have to get a little more off the bottom. A little bit off the top. That's what you tell the barber. Okay. And this is just the cutting. Oh, it's about 2 years old. So you can see the nice trunk starting to develop on it. So let's get this Here, no, I'm not worried about no front or nothing. Now with the chicken grit, that should hold our tree in nice. And then the willow here, well, not the willow, the maple. Let me get some more chicken grit, so when I get it in, come on, Tom, scoop it up, one hand. And we'll move Mr. Elephant on the side. And we got a nice little root base here. Okay, stay. And this one, we're just gonna tease it. Put it into here. And we're gonna get Mr. Spoon. Well, first we're gonna put some on the top to hold it in. I'm just going to use my fingers to get it in there. See that? It's holding it in. And we'll get the two twins together. And then I'll show you how I'm going to prune maybe just this long top one, and I'll show you how Nigel's friend bent the branches without wire. You don't need wire. I don't believe in wire. I mean, if it works for you, use it. To me, it's just an added expense. Why make bonsai expensive? Make your own soil. You don't have to buy that fancy stuff, chicken grit, turfus, perlite, whatever you want to use. I'm saving the perlite and Ted's mix for Hilda, because she's older than the hills for me. And I got to repot her. So let's give this a little watering here, so we can get this all in there. There we go. And let's see if I can get some more. All right, Tom. Don't lose your mind. Think of where you're putting the stuff. Just going to put that on there, this on here, a little more there, a little more here, and a little more there. That's the way the old story goes. And I don't know if we can get that in a little bit into the roots. I'm not firing it in this time, because this is a giant root system. There we go. Just use your fingers. You can't use your fingers. Use the ball of the spoon, or you can use a rock. Anything to help you out. I gotta get the scissors upright because they grew together. And they might work out good with each other. And then I'm going to use this old t-shirt and wipe my hands. Open up the chicken grit. Get Mr. Spoon. Coat the top with chicken grit because it's going to go in water. And this should hold it down and prevent the wind from knocking it all over the place. And this is, I think the number 2 is 29 cents a pound. And the number 1 is 39 because you get more in it. You say, Tom, it makes the pots heavy. Well, I found one thing. With the chicken grit, pots don't blow over in the wind. You know, if you got a mix in there like that. But I like Ted's mix too. It's hard for me to get there. There we go. And one in the corner here. Now, what are we going to do next? Aha! So let's take this guy up so we can see what we're going to do. We're going to cut this dead piece off in the middle, because you know nothing cuts wood like iron wood. Just like that, the needle nose come in handy. Now this long one, I'm going to just cut it back to here. And then this long one is way too long. I'm going to cut it back to the node over here. The node is the brain. There. Now, how do we start getting it to bend? Like Nigel's friend says, you hold your fingers here, and you go like this, and you got to do it like every day. See? Every day do it. You don't need no wires. It's all natural. And if you want more of a bend here, you can take your finger here. So it starts to bend for you. But every day, just do that. If you use two fingers, you're not gonna crack the stem, and it'll work. It'll work. Even like these big ones. Watch. You can use two fingers and just hold it down. And every day do that. And then you'll have a weeping willow that'll weep. See, it goes out this way. But if you keep doing it all the time, you know, just do it. Push it like that. And it'll start to bend. So give it a try. So, let's see how the water works. Chicken grit looks good wet. So I'm going to put this outside into the pond. I'll probably put this rock here for now. Just like that. No, I don't got the fine stuff. And then we'll put our gnome here. Let's give him a little bath because he was all discombobulated here. Our gnome can sit over here. I'm sure we have this as the front or this as a front. Yeah, I think we'll have that as a front. Doesn't really matter till we get it growing. And then we just got a stump here. Get in there, there we go. You know, nothing cuts wood like iron wood. And then my sister, with these new lipsticks, I don't know what it's called, Satin Crush, Fireberry. But as you can see the color on it, it's almost like a brown. I don't have green lipstick to match it, but we're just going to give the tips a little touch. A little touch. And there you go. And these are okay. They harden off nicely. So we'll see what happens. I'll put it outside because in that part it's a little bit shady. But before I do that, I have to fill up the waterfall. And that's alright because it runs into the little 10-gallon tote where the my water lily grows. This is the third year it's coming up, so that's great. And then I'll put a little tag on there. So today is Friday night. Grandma, get Grandpa off that couch. Ma, as soon as Dad rests from work, or Dad, if Mom's came home from work, as soon as they're rested up, take their hand, put on some big band music when music was music, and have a slow dance together. And if you can't do it, if you have arthritis or anything, then just sit back, relax, put the old-time big band music on, a little cup of tea, and enjoy each other's company, at least for a half hour. And then you can do whatever you got to do. So you take and bring the kids with you. They can sit down and relax too. So take care, everybody. Have a great evening, cup of tea, and have a great weekend.